decide to retire? Why?
Yes, I have, Kash. I've been with Service Radio for 25 years. And if you remember, we were part of Festival FM, which was a RSL, Restricted Service License.
93.
And then 94 for Rhythm FM. So 27 years of broadcasting. I think I'm running out of steam.
How was that?
Amazing experience. I never thought in my life that I would be a broadcaster, but those two RSLs taught us a lot.
Mm-hmm. You've had an amazing journey in the world of broadcasting. As you said, 27 years now.
It's been a wonderful journey, Kash, overall. I think I was privileged to go into a live broadcast from New Delhi, celebrating India's 50 years of independence. And the following year, I was sponsored by British Telecom to go to Mumbai and do 4-hour programming over a 4-day period as to how people in Mumbai celebrate Diwali. Two amazing journeys there.
So during your broadcasting journey, any bitter or even sweet moments?
Well, Kash, you've been in broadcasting industry for nearly the same time. We all have our bitter memories, some from the listeners, some petty arguments we have among colleagues, but that happens. That's life.
What are sweet moments?
I think more of sweet moments than bitter ones.
During this journey of broadcasting, you've met many politicians, as well as many actors, actresses, singers. How did this come about?
Well, this started way back when I started, after coming here, when I started going to Mumbai often, met a few actresses there. It then became a hobby of taking photographs with them. And since then, I've carried on, but I think I've now come to a stage where I've stopped it.
So let's talk about the people that you have met, your favorites.
I'll tell you, to name a few, I met Dilip Kumar, the legend. I met Devanand, Rajesh Khanna, Amitabh Bachchan, Rishi Kapoor, Mukesh, in terms of singers, Mukesh, Lata Mangeshkar, Talat Mahmood, Mahendra Kapoor, you name it. I've got a list full of it, and the photographs as well. They've been wonderful people. You know, it's very hard these days if you bump into somebody and have a snap with him or her. It's difficult, but in those days it was pretty easy. All my journeys to Mumbai, I made a lot of friends there who were related or involved with the film industry. Yeah, and that made my access to meet them easier than the normal people.
What would be your fun moments with these artists?
I think the fun moment was with Dilip Kumar when he came here to do a show. I think it's Mahendra Kapoor and they were touring together. It was when we were having a few drinks in the green room at the Montfort. I think I spent about 2 hours with the legend there. It was very happy but funny moments.
What about favorite actresses?
My favorite ever since I was a kid has always been Madhubala.
Really?
But I've met a few actresses. I've met Sharmila Tagore, Madhuri Dixit, Vijayanti Mala when she came to Sabras, Nutan Malasingha, most of them, yes.
Adi, you've been in the UK a long time.
I arrived in the UK on the 19th of February 1971, but that was part of my long journey. In a nutshell, I was born in Uganda, did my education in Uganda, then came to the UK to do a degree in law, where I felt homesick, so went back home, and then felt homesick there as well. So decided with a friend of mine to go on an adventure trip to Hong Kong or Singapore and all that. So finally we decided to go to Hong Kong. So got a rucksack on our shoulders and we hitchhiked to Kenya, the neighboring country, and then took a ship to India. Then we toured India for about a month, went to Calcutta and then found a job on a ship which took us to Singapore and then eventually docked into Hong Kong. So, and then we stayed in Hong Kong for a couple of months, became resident because it was a British colony then. And then we found a job in what was South Vietnam during the American War there and stayed in Vietnam for about 2.5 years. In the army barracks, yeah.
So you were born in Uganda, did your schooling there, and then what happened?
Well, after when we were working in Vietnam, I got a letter from back home saying my brother had died, so I had to fly back home. And I spent 15 days with my parents, and as I was returning to Vietnam, I stopped over in Mumbai for a couple of days, and unfortunately left my whole wallet, which had my passports, my travel checks, and everything in it, in a taxi. It was very hard to find it, and that was the end of my journey into Vietnam again, because the re-entries and everything, because it was a war-torn zone, re-entries and everything, and it disappeared with it. So then I finally decided to go to my maternal uncle's home in the city of Porbandar. And at that time, the passenger ships coming from Africa, from Mombasa, for ex-Ugandans who were living Ugandans there, and met a few of my classmates, and we decided that we should hitchhike to the UK. And all of us had British passports. We were all British nationals, so we thought it wouldn't be that difficult. Mm-hmm. But after taking a very adventurous journey through India into Afghanistan, Iran, Turkey, Yugoslavia, Bulgaria, Austria, Germany, Belgium, and into the UK, the port of Dover. That was when we were stopped and we were told that we don't have enough visas. Although we were British nationals, we were sent back uh, by a flight, Afghanistan, Aryan Afghan Airlines, and we landed in Delhi. We didn't know what to do then. So we actually went into the British High Commission's office and stayed there for 28 days, up until the Press Trust of India news agency picked the story up. And that was when there was a lot of pressure put on the British High Commission, or the British government for that matter, to take us out of that. And that's when finally the Home Office approved our visas to get into the UK.
Bit of a journey there. But talking about Dover, and it's interesting, not too long ago, you've published Delhi to Dover, a book of your journey, your memoirs. Tell us a little bit about the book.
Gosh, this book, the idea of writing this book came into when I was having a drink with a friend of mine. And I mentioned all these adventures, so-called adventures of mine, and he was amazed. He says, "You should put this in a book." And that's when I decided to write it. It took me about 18 months to 2 years to put together. This book is basically, it gives you a complete history about my journeys and my life. I have nevertheless omitted a few incidents which I thought were not relevant, but by and large, it's a true account of what's happened.
Wow. I've also come to know that you've received a very special message from the present Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. How did that come about?
Well, that was before I launched the book, a couple of months before that, and I was speaking to a friend of mine, and he said you should write a letter and invite him to the launch, which I did. And I thought he would never reply. He hasn't got the time, but to my surprise, he sent me a goodwill message in writing, signed by himself.
That must have been the highlight.
It was the highlight.
So here's a wild card question then, and I want to know as well. I've known you since, well, as you said earlier, we've started broadcasting together back in
93.
93. A lot of people call you Blue. Why Blue?
Kash, to answer that, I don't think I'll be able to answer that in even 2 hours' time. It's a long story, but it's in the book, so I would suggest you read the book.
Any regrets?
No regrets.
No regrets. We all have regrets, but none at all?
None that I should mention here.
Okay. There's a very special feature. I have a privilege of doing the 6 to 8 show here on Service Radio. And one of the features is what's cooking in your kitchen. And I know you like food. So, your favorite food?
My favorite food is Hyderabadi biryani.
Wow.
And my favorite drink, before you even ask it, is Bacardi and Coke with a slice of lemon in it.
Well, Adi, what can I say? What a journey we've had together, to be honest. You certainly have walked the talk. So thank you very much for joining me today on Walk the Talk, and certainly wish you all the best on your retirement.
Yeah, thank you, Kash, for inviting me here. But it's been a privilege talking to you, and thank you for inviting me here once again um, to walk the talk with Kash Kumar.
Thank you. I was going to ask you, do you find it emotional? I think
The thought of retirement, it does make me feel emotional. I don't know what's going to happen when I retire. After I retire, what's going to happen to me? I'm sure I'm going to miss that microphone. I miss the audience, miss friends like you, and I've met loads of friends in service, lots of colleagues who work for service, as well as the listeners. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you.